I spent 32 years building a life for my family. Every overtime shift, every sacrifice, every sleepless night was for my son. So when he invited me to his engagement party, I thought it was one of the proudest moments of my life. But that night, in front of 37 people, my own son stood up, pointed at me, and said something that changed everything forever. "Dad, if you want to stay in this house, start paying rent. Otherwise, leave." And what happened next destroyed their world. I remember standing there holding a glass of champagne. The entire house was glowing with celebration. Expensive decorations, music filling every corner, guests laughing, cameras flashing. I looked around and smiled quietly. This house, this beautiful mansion, was something I had spent years building brick by brick, not just physically, financially, emotionally, mentally. I had built a successful property company from absolutely nothing. But after my wife passed away 8 years ago, something inside me changed. I stepped away from the business world and decided to let my son Daniel slowly handle family matters. I trusted him completely, maybe too much. That night was his engagement party. He was introducing his fiancée, Chloe, to extended family and friends. I stood quietly near the dining area watching him laugh with people, and for a moment, I felt proud. Then suddenly Daniel tapped a glass with a spoon. Everyone turned toward him. He smiled confidently. "Before tonight continues, I need to say something important." People clapped. I smiled too. Then he turned toward me, and that smile disappeared from my face. "Dad." His voice became cold. "You've lived here long enough without contributing." The room became silent. At first I thought he was joking. Then he continued, "Starting next month, you pay rent. If not, I think it's time you move out." I froze. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. 37 guests stared directly at me. No one moved. No one spoke. Then Chloe laughed. Actually laughed. She crossed her arms and smirked. "Well, let's see how long you survive without us." Some guests started whispering. I felt heat rising in my chest. Not anger. Disappointment. The kind that cuts deeper than pain. I looked at my son. The same boy I raised alone after his mother died. The same boy I paid college tuition for. The same boy who crashed 3 cars and never paid for one. And now he was treating me like I was worthless. I slowly placed my drink down. No yelling. No arguing. No scene. I simply nodded. Then I walked upstairs. Behind me I heard Chloe whisper. Guess reality finally hit him. People laughed. I opened my bedroom door quietly, pulled out an old black suitcase, started packing. Shirts, documents, a leather folder, family records, ownership papers. I paused for a second, then smiled, because something very interesting had just happened. Daniel had forgotten one tiny detail. This house was never transferred to him. Not legally, not financially, not technically. In fact, every property he believed belonged to him was under one master holding company, and I own 100% of it. Everything. The house, his luxury car, the investment account funding his lifestyle, even the office he proudly called his company. I zipped the suitcase, walked downstairs. Everyone stared again. Daniel looked smug. "Leaving already?" I looked him directly in the eyes, then calmly said, "I won't be paying rent." He smiled. "Then leave." I nodded slowly. "Of course." Then I pulled one document from the folder, placed it on the table, and walked out. 10 seconds passed. Then I heard shouting behind me. Daniel grabbed the paper. His face turned white. "Dad, what is this?" I turned around. "That," I said calmly, "is proof that I own this house." Silence. Complete silence. Chloe stepped closer. Daniel kept reading. Then panic spread across his face. I continued, "And tomorrow morning, your car lease ends. Your company access cards stop working. Your bank authority is revoked. And since this engagement party was paid using my corporate account," I smiled slightly, "you now owe me every cent." Nobody moved. Nobody laughed now. Chloe's face lost all color. Daniel stepped toward me. "Dad, wait." I raised my hand. "No. For years I gave you comfort. But comfort created entitlement. You confused kindness with weakness." His voice shook. I didn't know. I stared at him. "That's exactly the problem. You never cared enough to know." I picked up my suitcase, started walking toward the front door, then stopped one last time. Without turning around, I said quietly, "Never disrespect the hands that built the life you stand on." And I walked away. 3 weeks later, Daniel called 72 times. I never answered. Chloe left him. The engagement ended. His friends disappeared. And suddenly, for the first time in his life, he understood consequences. As for me, I bought a small beachfront house. Far away, peaceful, quiet, no betrayal, just freedom. And sometimes, the greatest revenge is simply letting people experience life without your protection. Respect is priceless. Sometimes the people we sacrifice everything for become the ones who hurt us the most. But remember this, never underestimate the silent person in the room, because power doesn't always speak loudly. Sometimes, it simply walks away. If this story shocked you, subscribe now, because tomorrow's story is even more unbelievable. This video is created for entertainment, storytelling, and educational purposes only. The events, names, characters, and situations presented in this story are fictional or dramatized for audience engagement. Any resemblance to real persons or actual events is purely coincidental. Please like, share, subscribe for more interesting real stories.